Greetings from Philadelphia. I'm just off 9th Street, and two famous cheesesteak places actually coexist side by side. Pat Steaks over here and Geno's Steaks on this side. They are known as competitors, but I think there's a friendly rivalry between them and they actually get on. But the reason I'm here today is that I've seen a number of cheesesteak reviews, best cheesesteak in Philadelphia, and quite often the number 1, 2, 3 in any order will be Dalessandro's, also Jim South Street, and also what's the other one, John's roast pork. I lost it for a moment there. This is what happens when you see so many cheesesteak videos, and quite often Geno's and Pat's come down in the reviews. They're known as the more touristy type of cheesesteaks and always get low reviews, but often I think when you have a perception in your mind that something is touristy and something is bad, then naturally I think the reviewer has a tendency to veer towards that way, and they will say that Geno's over there and also Pat's come down on the list. But I want to check if that's really the case, so I'm going to visit Geno's Steaks over there and Pat's over there. And Pat's is actually the inventor of the cheesesteak. He actually says on the sign, Pat's King of Steaks, inventor, originator since 1930. So the cheesesteak was actually invented there, and it's moved around the city now. A number of places that are open, and I actually I've had cheesesteak twice actually since I've been. I went to Ishkabibbles, which actually comes higher up in the reviews as well, and also at Reading Terminal Market at Spataro's as well. And both of them were pretty good. They were decent cheesesteaks, but I want to see what the fuss is about, or the lack of fuss between these two, because they're known as the tourist cheesesteaks. So let's have a look. I will try Geno's first and then see what Pat's is like. So come on down, let's check out what Geno's v Pat's is really like, and if it is the worst cheesesteak in Philadelphia. So I've just got this cheesesteak here, cheese whiz and also onion. So let's have a look. It's dripping down actually, so let's have a look at what this cheesesteak is really like. The actual cheese itself, that's coming through quite a lot. The meat itself, I had Spataro's at Reading Terminal Market, and this is actually better than that. That I found was okay as well, but this actually is a lot better. The cheese itself, I find, comes through a lot more in this, whereas I think they were a bit dry when I had mine there. And even now the cheese is coming out of the cheesesteak. But I think what those reviews say, I would say is probably a good cheesesteak. It's something that I'd probably have on a late night if I was coming back from somewhere, if it's midnight, 1 o'clock. It's one of those items that I'd quite easily have from Geno's. I think it serves the purpose. This is not your fine dining or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but it's actually something that I think is quite filling. In the UK itself, late night, what do we normally have in the UK? Doner kebabs is what we have. So as compared to that, I think this is probably Philadelphia's version of your late night food, or go-to food when you need something quick. Daytime food, I probably wouldn't have this during the day. It's probably something maybe late night is something that I'd probably have. But I think as far as those reviews go, where it comes down a lot lower, it's not. I wouldn't put it in that category where it's one of the worst cheesesteaks that get listed on these reviews. So it actually, I think, is a very good tasting cheesesteak. So Geno's, I think, has done the job for me. And let's see what Pat's is like, because that too comes a lot lower down on the list as compared to the likes of Dalessandro's, John's roast pork, or Jim South Street. So let's have a look what Pat's compares to as compared to Geno's, because Geno's, I'll be honest, it's a good cheesesteak. I would have this again quite comfortably. So I'll finish this off, and let's move on to Pat's, which is just down the road there. So that was the Geno's cheesesteak, and I must admit it was a good cheesesteak. It's something that I would go back to quite easily. Is it as bad as the others? In honesty, Ishkabibbles was the best one I had so far, and it actually was better than Ishkabibbles. So it's you know, it's each to their own really, what they think is good and bad according to their taste buds. But I've got to say, Geno's was a pretty good cheesesteak. But I am at Pat's now, which, like I said, is the originator and inventor of the cheesesteak. I think it was Geno's actually that was featured in the Rocky film. Maybe Rocky Balboa it was featured in. So probably gets a lot of fame because of that. So let's have a look what Pat's is like. So I've got the cheesesteak from Pat's, and immediately there's a lot of cheese on here. There's an absolute ton of cheese on there. The actual steak itself seems more cut up than Geno's one. A lot of onions. It just looks like a load of mess, to be honest, but normally things that are messy are very tasty as well. So let's have a look. Let's see what Pat's is like. If it beats the Geno's experience.
My manager Tommy and my great Donovan, Big John, all excited about it. Okay. And I, make sure that everybody's scheduled for that week. Right. So what I'm going to do, I think.
First bite there, I would definitely say that Geno's is better than this. It had more flavour. The actual steak itself the cheese itself had more flavour in there. This isn't a bad cheesesteak, to be honest. But considering this the inventor, originator, I'm surprised that Geno's is better than this. I would have actually, before coming here, had Geno's down as a second to Pat's, but it's the same cheesesteak, cheese whiz, onions, and cheesesteak. But I would definitely say that Geno's is the better tasting cheesesteak. I'll have another bite just to give it, try and do it some justice, I think. No. Definitely Geno's. So I think in the battle between Geno's and Pat's, Geno's is the one that I'd come back to, not Pat's. I'll eat this, but it's not something that I'd come back for. But the Geno's one, I would. So that's my conclusive research done for the Geno's v Pat's challenge, and from Pat's, it's goodbye.